I don't know about you, but I was jamming to that music. It was very,
Do you remember the like classic conference call music?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
I worked on a campaign, and there was like, we had like a big staff retreat. I'm going to tell this really quick story before we get started because it's worth telling. We had a staff retreat that was like in the woods somewhere, and every team, like there was a communications department, there was a political department, there was a field department. Everybody had to come up with their own skit, and we came up with a slow jam dance to the hold music. Because it was like this like jazzy, like bluesy, like you could imagine. I still remember one of the guys on the team, he was like, oh yeah, it's conference call time. And we're like grooving in the background. It was, you know, profoundly embarrassing, but this is also before the time of like, social media was not much of a thing back then because I'm old as dirt. Okay.
No, that's
coming in hot. Take it away, Amy.
Make a note because we also have like a team retreat coming up. So I think that.
Okay. Well, now we know what to do.
Yes, I love it. I'm Amy Bussey. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm a consultant with Gladiator Consulting. Sarah?
I'm Sarah Howard. I also use she, her pronouns, and I also am a consultant with Gladiator Consulting. And clearly, Rachel isn't here yet, which means that Amy and I are off the rails from the jump.
Also, it is 4 hours-ish away from sabbatical, which is what we're going to talk about today. Do you have a beverage to share?
Well, I never have fewer than 2. Sadly, they are. Oh, I'm very jealous of your Topo Chico. I have still water in my STL made thermos and iced coffee, which, you know, don't leave home without it.
Yeah. I already had my shots of three shots of espresso in my iced coffee this morning. And Topo Chico is the best. It's mineral water that's carbonated. This one is with a twist of lime. It comes from a specific spring in Mexico. It was bought by Coca-Cola maybe last year. And for a while, it was in such high demand because it was great. I mean, capitalism, boohoo, whatever. It was great because I could access it more readily. But then everyone learned that it was amazing, and then I couldn't get it anywhere. So now it's starting to be back in stock, and it makes me so happy.
We've discussed this. It has the perfect sized bubbles.
Yes. And then if you're a little kid, you can feel kind of like you're cool because it's in a green bottle if you get the twist of lime. And it's like, am I drinking alcohol? Is this a beer?
Interesting. So this tells me 2 things about you. 1, it gives me a glimpse into your childhood. And 2, it tells me that you came from like a Rolling Rock drinking family.
It's where were we? I don't understand why my lighting keeps blinking out, but I'm here.
Well, you have too little and I have too much, so.
See, and now it just came back.
I'm just going to lean in to try to get rid of the glare on my glasses. I want everyone to know that, you know, Amy and I came into this live stream with not only a plan, but actually instructions about what to do and what to talk about. But this is actually, I would say, the vibe of the Gladiator team is that there is instantly, we wind up talking about the most random things. And we do this with clients as well, right? We spend the first 10 minutes of most client calls kind of checking in. And sometimes that's a heavy conversation. And sometimes it's about the appropriately sized bubbles in carbonated beverages. But I think it's actually kind of part of the magic because we engage with one another, our colleagues and our clients and our partners and everybody and our prospective partners, like as whole people, right? There's no like, this is work Sarah, and then this is out of work Sarah. I don't know that I'd be capable of that anyway, but
it's we're human. And we bring that humanity to our work in every aspect. And I hear a dog barking and I love it. Like, it's,
oh no, you can hear him. Normally everybody says you can't hear him, and so I wasn't even worried about it. Okay.
no, it's okay. We're parents, and
At some point, one of your cats will moon us by walking across and putting its butt right in the camera, right?
Mm-hmm. He was before I joined the call. He was sitting on my computer, and our colleague Coco was like, "Oh, I thought Riot was just doing the call for you today." Yeah, it just happens, and that really sets the tone for what we're going to talk about today, which
I was going to say, maybe we should actually get started before Coco, who is behind the scenes, our producer. Like Coco is basically does everything for this organization, but they're gonna. I think they are probably right now behind the scenes, laughing. And also at some point they're gonna be like, we have to actually talk about what we're supposed to talk about. So
yeah. So I've been with Gladiator for almost as long as it's been in existence. And
really, you've been with Gladiator for almost the full 10 years?
Mm-hmm. And in the very beginning, when it started, I dipped my toe in and then dipped out for a second and then jumped back in full-fledged. Mm-hmm. And our Gladiator has always had the values of, being human, bringing that into the work. And a sabbatical has been something that the organization has moved toward in the iteration that it is now. A sabbatical is a break from work, whether that is if you're a teacher, a professor, or a pastor, it's a full-fledged step back so that you can recover from burnout. Some people use it to write a book, rethink your entire career direction. But it's a step back from whatever you're doing so that you can return with more clarity, more energy, ready to dive back in. And sometimes they're paid, sometimes they're not. At our organization, it's, we're all consultants. So some of us are independent, and that looks different for each person and their contract. But we plan ahead. We've been doing this for so many years now that it's not, our office is closed. Mm-hmm. For Gladiator, it looks like no Zooms, no client meetings, no work. It started with 1 week, then 2. Now it's 3 full weeks in the middle of summer. And we also do it again in the winter, over the holiday break. And we come back energized with new ideas, excited to dive back into work. And there's a lot of prep and planning before we sort of walk away for 3 weeks to enjoy our families, friends. I don't have children, I have fur children. So I'm a pet parent.
And I'm assuming you have favorite aunt status.
Oh my goodness. Yes. So I'm an aunt all the way, and I can't wait to go tomorrow. I am flying to Savannah, which is where my husband is currently staying. I'm going to go visit him. And then part of that is the joy of being closer to Tampa, where my brother and sister-in-law and my baby nephew Abram live. So I'm going to go see baby AB, and I can not wait to kiss those chubby cheeks and chubby arms. And Coco will share out the pictures from our post-sabbatical journees, and you'll get to see cute baby AB splashing in the pool.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Oh, yeah. First, I have to correct myself. It's 11 years because I just realized that somehow Amelia, Rachel's daughter, who she birthed approximately, I don't know, what was it, 8 weeks?
11. Oh,
no. 11 years ago. Right. She just, Moo, as we call her, or as I should say, as people who are given permission by Amelia to call her. was born 11 years ago. So we're almost at the 11-year mark. So I've been with Gladiator now for 3 years. Is it 3 years?
I have no
honestly, time is a flat circle. Sorry, that's a True Detective reference. Sorry. A bad one too. I think it's like going on 3 years now. But I think I started, like, sabbatical wasn't a thing for me the first year that I was with the organization. So this is now my second time. And I think actually the thing about being deliberate about a practice like this is that there are a couple of things. One is that it does require you to be deliberate. It requires you to plan ahead, to have really strong communication with clients, and really kind of think ahead. So like as we're approaching sabbatical, there are projects that we think about getting started, either with existing clients or with new clients that are coming on board or we're hoping will come on board. And we have to start thinking about like, okay, we're going to have that launch after sabbatical. So we're going to be talking in early July, making sure that all of that is copacetic, right? And making sure that you have that really clear communication. So it requires you to be deliberate. But the other thing is that the more you do it, I don't want to say easier it gets, but like the more it just becomes part of the regular routine, and the easier it is. Like, I tend to be somebody who works to deadline. And so for me, one of the challenges that I can experience with something like this is that last week or two or day, or let's be real here, a few hours leading into sabbatical, I can feel this like enormous sense of pressure because I'm like trying to get things done before we're offline for a couple of weeks. But it becomes a little bit easier as you do it more frequently, right? And it becomes easier for clients too. They know to anticipate it. And I think that like there are multiple benefits to all of this. One is that it is actually a lived organizational expression of values.
Yes.
One that is not just sort of articulated and spoken, but really, really lived. And I think that tends to help delineate the partnerships that you wind up having, right? I'm sure that there are clients out there that this would not roll for them, right? And we are very, very clear on the fact that we're lucky, right? There are tons of folks out there who this is not an option. A teacher can't take a sabbatical, like, unless it's part of their contract. Can't like in the middle of the year be like, oh, we're shutting down the school for a few weeks, right? Like there are a lot of a home healthcare worker, a janitor, right? Like it would be great if we could like,
didn't we kind of learn during the pandemic that we can? And
well, certainly
there are ways to make it happen. Of course, there are essential workers. And
hey, it looks like Rachel's here. Should we let her in?
Rachel, say hello.
Hello, friends. I come to you from the pre-sabbatical journey of getting license plates.
Yay!
I'm not gonna lie, Rachel. I was driving behind you the other day, and I was like, "Did I look at the
right?" And most of our listeners,
St. Louis.
Yeah, most of our listeners would say, "Why didn't she save this task for sabbatical?" And the answer is that little temporary piece of paper on my car says that it expires on June 12th, 2026. And guess what today is?
Yay! Yeah.
Listen,
Good on ya for being a good citizen.
The rule follower in me, which by the way is the person, like that's the voice I try to like squash as much as possible. But the rule follower in me is really proud of you. Super proud.
Thank you. So just to be clear, I am in the parking lot at City Hall because I also, went to the DMV, learned at the DMV that there is a waiver that I wouldn't have known that I needed, that I have to be able to get. So I have now come to City Hall to acquire the waiver. And now I'm heading back to the DMV. But until we are done speaking, I'm going to remain in my vehicle in the parking lot and not do anything that would be illegal whilst, operating a motor vehicle.
Nice.
Speaking of things that like, so we were just actually talking about like the sort of acknowledging the fact that not everybody has the gift of being able to step back from their job on an annual basis, which is something that as an organization we've decided to do. And like that comes with privilege and whatnot. And I just want to flag that whenever I hear stories about this, that, and it's happened to all of us, right? Mm-hmm. You go to one governmental building to take care of some license application or what have you. And then you find out that you need to pay some sort of fee or get some sort of document, which means you need to go to a different governmental building, which is often miles away.
Correct.
And every time this happens, all I can think of is, wow, this is designed to fuck with people who don't have resources.
Yes. Yep. Oh, 100%. So I got up early today so I could get our clients situated for our sabbatical time. I did arrive at the DMV before the lunch break, and I actually arrived at City Hall before like the lunch hour. When I left City Hall just now, I had been the second person when I got there. And when I left, there was a line out the hallway of people. Yep. I would say there are probably 15 people who are now on their lunch break that are desperately hoping they will be able to complete the aforementioned task.
Right.
And yeah, I'm not
Which is why when people complain about like, oh, why are those temporary tags expired? And why is that place? I'm like, dude.
No, we make it impossible. And, I think about this often, and I'm not sure, what all you guys have touched on so far, but as grateful as we are for our modern labor laws and the modern labor movement, the 40-hour, exempt work week is still a product of logs that plantation owners kept when they were managing slaves in the fields. Like our time sheets are a direct, result of that. And so, no, if our duty as workers is to participate in an extractive capitalistic system, then we aren't going to have time or the ability to also be good citizens in terms of compliance or things like that, because if the choice is money to pay my bills or take 3 hours of paid time off, maybe not even paid time off, take 3 hours of my afternoon to go figure out these things, I'm probably going to take a paycheck instead of taking the time to do the things. And
especially if feeding your kids, paying your rent, etc. requires.
If you were, and I think, we have a lot of gratitude to some extent about a 40-hour work week. But y'all, like, we went from like really awful, like children working 12 hours a day in factories and like losing their limbs, to like a 40-hour work week where we still actually don't take time off. So we went from like awful to like still bad.
Yeah.
Like still bad, still not great. And then we see our counterparts in Europe who have months of vacation, who have years of parental leave,
not just maternity.
Not just maternity, parental leave. Years, not months, not weeks, years. And we wonder why people here are like miserable and don't take care of themselves. Like we don't live in a society that values rest as an attribute that makes you better at your work.
Yep.
Anyway.
Oh my God. So many things are like popping into my head about this. And just so you know, Rachel, Amy and I have covered all of the important topics like Topo Chico bubbles. And I told a story about a skit that was a dance to conference call hold music and yada, yada, yada.
I know we do usually talk about our drinks, and I will say this. I do not have a particularly exciting drink, but my drink has a message on it. So yesterday, I don't know if you can see this.
Oh, yes.
I got to go to the groundbreaking for the Northside Youth and Senior Service Center. And got to see them put their shovel in the ground. And so here's my like encouragement to like visit them. They are in fundraising and capital campaign mode, and this community deeply deserves to have this resource. So I am staying hydrated and happy to share a good cause with y'all today.
Yeah, good job staying hydrated.
I love it.
We've also talked about what a sabbatical is and why Gladiator has taken one and how we've graduated from 1 week to now 3 weeks and in the summer and in winter.
And also like the fact that like it gets the planning and deliberate thought about sabbatical, the communication in advance, the like figuring out how to align your work, but also like all of it becomes easier.
Yes.
Right. And there is something to everyone stepping away at the same time that takes away some of the pressure that I think traditional vacation, right? Or an individual taking an extended sabbatical. And, you know, and I'm not saying that like that means that this should be a replacement for individual vacation, but you know, when one person needs to step away from their responsibilities for one reason or another, the rest of the team chips in and helps carry the weight, right? Which is part of being a team. But in this instance, there is no additional pressure that's reallocated.
Yeah. And it is starting to, from what I've seen, being part of Gladiator for so long and seeing this grow, this iteration of sabbatical take off in different ways and grow, our clients are adapting it to their own organizations and own processes. And they are doing their own sabbaticals.
And their own like summer breaks. And,
from going from, oh my gosh, what a concept, to now we're doing it. And now we're in our 3rd and 4th year and growing from 1 week to 2 weeks.
And like doing the thing that works for their organization in that moment. So, you know, we have a client now, I think that's taking 1 week off. We have a client that's closed for 2 weeks. We have another client that does a no meeting July. So they are really, they are still doing work, but they do not meet as a team. They do not meet with anybody for the entire month.
That sounds great, but for an extrovert like me, I think I would wither up and die.
Oh, sure. I believe that.
Well, you could maybe have your own side meeting, Sarah. You don't have to.
Yeah.
A non-work gathering.
Indeed.
And like folks have summer hours sometimes at organizations. Like there are.
I definitely had that.
Which is, I mean, I do also think that, and I'll add this, you know, part of the reason that we really started to think about doing something like this in the summer is because a lot of the people on our team were working parents or working caregivers. And, you know, the transition to summer, the ability to go on vacation, like all these things, like you shouldn't have to have there shouldn't be like a resource qualification for people's ability to rest. And unfortunately, again, I acknowledge we live in capitalism and that isn't a shared value, you know, across community. But whether you're hourly or a wage worker, like you should be able to rest and engage in restorative activities, because burnout doesn't actually help. Like burnout is not an economic driver of anything. Like
no. Every article I'm seeing is like burnout in the nonprofit sector is on the rise, and what are we doing about it? Well, this is what Gladiators doing.
We're supposed to self-care. We're supposed to self-care way out of it, right? We're supposed to spend more of the money we earn on getting our nails and our hair and our Botox and our wardrobe and our, I don't know, like paint by number, wine drinking, whatever situation.
Little side quest from like, have you seen, there's this billboard now that's like, I think that the slogan is something like self-care isn't selfish. And it is an advertisement for like liposuction or laser like hair removal. And it's just the fundamental misunderstanding of what that term means.
I receive your language of misunderstanding, but I find it to be very on purpose.
Oh, sure.
Messaging.
I would like to go back to the point where the corporate America was mocking the idea of self-care as opposed to commodifying it.
Yes. And I think, you know, okay, so you all know our friend Bree, who does Oddball Leadership. You guys, if you don't know Bree, look up Oddball Leadership, subscribe to her Substack newsletter, whatever. You won't regret it. But a few weeks ago, Bree sent out an email that like really asked the question, like, how do we move beyond performative values in our work and really, you know, embrace the behaviors that are necessary to sort of build the space we want to be in. And so she'd ask some questions and she's like, you know, if you want to respond, and I, you know, have my coffee on Monday morning. And I'm like, yes, I have like 5 minutes to respond. And one of the things that I shared with her was the sort of revising self-care to like community care on our team. And that like part of that is not like, you know, what money are you spending to take care of yourself? Are you going to go for a walk, whatever? But really it has been the space in all of our meetings to be able to say, what feels hard? What are we struggling with? Like, what help do I need? But also like, what can I offer? Like, where am I available? And I think the way that has like shown up for us is truly like, you know, and I will like call all three of us out on this. Like we each juggle a very unique situation in our families. And like sometimes I have to be a mom and sometimes Sarah has to be a mom and sometimes Amy has to be a wife. And like when we can't do those things, well, we are sad about those things. And having a team member say, yeah, Amy, go work remotely in Savannah, buy a plane ticket and go. Sarah, the world's not going to end if you take this road trip with your daughter. And like, hopefully you say to me, yes, Rachel, Amelia is like trying to crawl back into your womb while we're sitting here on this Zoom call. So maybe, you know, you can dip out of the Zoom call like 15 minutes early and, you know, parent your child. Like,
in fairness, that's every Zoom call though.
Fair. Yeah, it's true.
But it is clear when she's like, oh, no. I need your focus here.
Yeah.
Right now.
Like right now. Yeah. And so I think about that because it really does remove this sort of what I think is an unfair and unreasonable expectation that like we individually are the only people that are responsible for caring for ourselves. And if like we can't figure out, then we're just dumb and undeserving of care. It actually allows me to say, hey, you guys, I'm struggling with X. And for you to either say, here is where I can help you, or here's whatever, or say like, girl, put that shit down. Like you're carrying something you're not even supposed to be carrying right now. And then I'm like, oh.
And that's what makes like when people say they don't like their job, I'm like, I feel so sorry for you because I love my job. And that is because of things like that. It's the work
Yeah.
that I do. I love the work that I do, but I could go somewhere else and probably hate my job because of the people I work with. And when people say things like, we're a family, I don't necessarily have to like my family. But this is what makes it worthwhile and valuable.
Yeah.
Yes. So we are about out of time. I think Sarah has something to share and kind of wrap us all up. Rachel, did you have any last minute words before we shift to that?
Yeah, I mean, no, here's what I'm going to say. You know, we're getting ready to go on our break. And yes, we will communicate. Yes, we will likely see each other in some form or fashion. But I think whoever is listening, like, if you can take half day, if you can sleep in and go in late, if you can take your kids to like the zoo or dip out of work early for date night or whatever those things are, like, we get to choose to move slower. We get to choose to name our priorities and when we need to move with urgency and when we don't. And I think we are oversaturated in urgency and the idea that we like have to do the thing now. Over the course of the next month, pick one thing that you're going to choose to move slower.
I love that.
That's my thing. Like, it doesn't have to be everything, but like, what is the one thing that you're going to do to give yourself time and space?
This is such a perfect transition into this little thing. So yesterday I stumbled across an excerpt from some writing from our Lord and Savior, Mary Oliver. And so it feels quite apropos. So I'm going to read this little thing and then I guess we'll say.
Yes.
Okay. This is from Black Oaks. Today is a day like any other. 24 hours, a little sunshine, a little rain. Listen, says Ambition, nervously shifting her weight from one boot to the other. Why don't you get going? For there I am in the mossy shadows under the trees. And to tell the truth, I don't want to let go of the risks of idleness. I don't want to sell my life for money. I don't even want to come in out of the rain.
Thank you.
Love her so much.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
May we all play in the rain.
Yes.
Word.
All
All
right,
right.
friends.
Well, I'll see you guys on the flippity flip.
Sounds good. Happy Gemini season.
Yes. Happy